Well, hello, welcome back to yet another Pokemon ranking video, but today we are doing Gen 4, and I think this one might be a little bit faster because I'm not so sure how I feel about Gen 4 after doing some of the research for this video and kind of looking through the whole decks and looking at stats and viability competitively and overall design and what the Pokemons are even based out of. Gen 4 is not as good as I thought it was. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into our two honorable mentions before we start. So, pretty easy to pick the 12 I was gonna do for the video. Starts off with a somewhat overlooked Pokemon, not a super important or well loved Pokemon, I don't think, and that is Skorupi. Him and Drapion both fantastic. The thing about Skorupi, he's just small. I like the colors a little better. He's a little cuter because he has kind of that first stage. But he's pokey. He's got the good scorpion look. I like the tail. And I don't know, overall, I just think he's pretty cool. But as always, when you have a small, cute one, you got to move up to a big old legendary boy. So then we got Heatran for that. I love Heatran. I think the fact that if he cools down, he fucking dies. That's pretty neat. Also terrifying. He's got a pretty good design. The mouth is a little weird. I know a lot of people aren't super hyped up on Heatran, but I don't know. I think he's cool. I like his design, and I like the lore behind him. And I think that those are the two things that kind of made me go, oh, Heatran's pretty cool. I am recording this about an hour after I recorded the Gen 3 video, so if I still sound a little hoarse, just my throat's real dry today, so bear with me a little bit. Anyways, let's get on to the worst Gen 4 Pokemon. And Gen 4, Gen 2 was the birth of the young boys, right? The birth of the baby Pokemon, where we saw a lot of those egg Pokemon come out and be kind of weird and awkward because they were more middle stagey, trying to get up to something than they were trying to get back down. And Gen 3 had a little bit of that as well. Gen 4, we got the daddy stage, as I like to call it, where you got all of the evolutions for the younger Pokemon that didn't have evolutions. You've got Mamoswine and Magnezone and Rhyperior and all that kind of stuff. And some of them hit the mark really well, like Electivire. Electivire looks amazing. And then you've got ones like Tangrowth that are kind of weird. I've decided to go for one of those daddy Pokemon for the worst, and we are going to go with Lickilicky, because man, this thing looks fucking weird. It's so fat. What's wrong with its tongue? It's got the little curl. I'm not a huge Lickitung fan, but it works and it looks Pokemon-esque. This thing looks fucking weird. The eyes are too small. It looks like a Ditto tried to copy a Lickitung, and instead it got merged with a Wi-Fi signal. I don't fucking know what happened or what they are going with for Lickilicky, but this is what we got, and I just wish we hadn't. We're gonna move on to that top 10 list. This Pokemon that a lot of people like, a whole line that's really good. It all culminates with Garchomp. The whole Garchomp line, amazing. Gabite, great. Gibble, super cute. Garchomp takes it to the next level, gives you that real good dragon look. It looks shark-like. It's got the little torpedoes on the side with the good fins. I'm not enthralled with this Pokemon or enamored to this Pokemon like I was with pretty much everything on my list in Gen 3, but I really like Garchomp. He was great on my team for the first playthrough. What can I say? I love him. Going up from there is another Pokemon that I actually didn't get to experience a whole lot. I think. Now I'm trying to remember back. And I guess I'll do this live on cam, because I'm pretty certain I didn't get to use the next Pokemon that I'm gonna say, because I believe that he was in the game I didn't have. If it'll tell me anywhere that he was in a certain game and not a certain other game. Oh, maybe he was. Now that I'm thinking, I'm like, well, maybe because they're fossils. I'm picking a fossil Pokemon. I think I'm just a fucking idiot. Let's just pretend I'm an idiot. It's Shieldon. Now, I thought Shieldon was Pearl exclusive, but then when I thought about it, it's just the two fossils, and I had just taken Cranidos the first time, who I also really like, but I like Shieldon a little bit more. He's got a great head. More than anything, his the way that the face works, him and Bastiodon have great designs where they're just big plates that are really safe, and for that, they're really tanky. He's super cute with great eyes. I love the little nose, and I really, really love the separation of the band with the bands on the plate. The little upper thing and the little lower thing, it's perfect. It makes the Pokemon look like he's peering through the guard of a football mask. I love it. Shieldon's super cute, and I'm glad to have him on the list. Now, usually not a big fan of at least one starter, right? And in Gen 4, really didn't like Chimchar, really didn't like Monferno, wasn't a huge fan of Infernape, though it's pretty okay. But it featured 2 really great Pokemon, and I had a really tough time deciding. The one I didn't decide on was Turtwig. Now, Turtwig, I love Turtwig. He is a fantastic starter Pokemon. He's got everything you want. I love the weird, like, bottom jaw that looks very unique from the rest of the body. The color design is great. I mean, the color choice and contrast is great, but the color design, how they chose to lay out the colors throughout the body, I think is fantastic. I love the little shell on the back. He's a great turtle Pokemon. I love the little sprout plant. It's so good. Whole line, fantastic. Now, as I said, I love Turtwig, but I didn't start with him, and that's because I started with Piplup. Now, Piplup's just a hair above Turtwig, and I love penguins, pretty much the only deciding factor on why I took Piplup first. But he's just got a great design. He's cute. I love his beak. It's so small and cute. He's got great feet. It's a cute Pokemon. I love, again, the color design on all 3 of the starters was fantastic. They did a great job this generation of laying out how the colors move throughout the body and what they signify and what they show. And it draws your eye to the right portions. And I think that's really cool. I also notably love Piplup's eyes. The way they look, they give a good like gleam almost. And I think that that's super cute, super cool. Love Piplup, great line. Now, talking about that though, you go up. Now, what's better than a Turtwig? Probably not a Grotle. Grottle's cool, but he's not better than Turtwig. But Torterra. Now, Torterra is the epitome of a Pokemon that works perfectly with what it's trying to show. All right, Torterra basically is tortoise and Terra is earth, right? So terra firma, ground, that's what he is. He's the earth, and it's, you know, I know that it's probably based off of the whole world turtle, where the idea of one of the mythologies, I'm not sure which, but one of the mythologies is that there's the world floating on the back of a turtle through space. That's what Torterra tries to signify. And he's kind of a dinosaur. He stays on all 4 legs, which I really love, as you guys know. He's got that nice big tree on his back and an entire ecosystem, and you can kind of just see, if you look really close, you can see other Pokemon hanging out on it. Maybe a Durant hops up and is trying to get up the tree, and you see a Tailo landing on one of the branches, and you know, a Geodude climbing up one of the little mountains. Like he really embodies what they were trying to do, and I think that his design is spot on and is one of the most well-designed and well-thought-out Pokemon in all of the generations. In every game and every concept art, it hits the mark on what it's trying to do. But as I said, I like me some penguins. So number 5, we got Empoleon. And I know that the Pip-Up line keeps edging out the Turtwig line, and that's pretty much what it was for me the whole way through. I would probably give Grottle the nudge over weird looking Prinplup, but again, they're kind of close again, so I don't know. But man, what's there not to say? Empoleon is amazing. He's steel water, which is such a cool typing. He's got the sharp blades, you know, he's got the little fingers on the inside, the perfect webbed feet. He's got the little trident for a face. He's amazing. He also has the perfect little cowl into a tie so that he looks like he's wearing a tuxedo. It works. The design works. He's so cool. He carried my ass through fucking Diamond. I love Empoleon. Okay, so back to the whole talk of the daddy generation, right? So now you know, okay, he's talking about one of the Pokemon that didn't really have an evolution that now we're getting one, or one that was a 2-stage, it's now a 3-stage. What's the one it's gonna be? Well, might be more than one coming up. I had to decide who I was going to use, because there were a lot of good daddy Pokemon and a lot of bad daddy Pokemon, and nothing really in the middle. You know, Magmortar, shit. Electivire, great. You know, so I had to say, okay, am I going to put all daddy Pokemon on this list? Ones that I like, you know. Wish Electivire could have been on this list. I think he's really great. I think that Togekiss, fantastic. Another great looking mon. But I had to go with someone that I really love, and a Pokemon that's near and dear to my heart from Gen 2 was Yanma. So Yanmega only made sense to go on the list. He's just a souped up Yanma, but with a couple different changes, right? This one looks a lot more fierce. Where Yanma looked cute, Yanmega looks super fierce, super ready, laser focused with those eyes. He looks like a fucking helicopter, and it's sick. Like, he does a great job at combining helicopter and dragonfly. Beautiful Pokemon, great color. It like swaps the color palette from Yanma, but he just looks so fierce with those piercing red eyes, and you can just almost see people inside, like flying around the giant Yanmega. It's perfect. I really like Pokemon that look fierce and have designs that make sense with what they're trying to do. And I think Gen 4 did a really good job at designs that make sense in combining a real world aspect with an animal, you know? Where, like, I really love Corphish. He's just a cool crab, right? But Torterra, Empoleon, Yanmega, they all, Shieldon, they all make sense with what they're trying to do, and it's spot on and it's perfect. Huh? So now we got the top 3. All right, and I told you there might be another daddy Pokemon coming up. Another Pokemon that was on my top 10 list for Generation 2 was Gligar. Well, it only makes sense now to have Gliscor. Gliscor is sick. Like, its design is so good. The tail, more than anything, before we look at anything else, that tail with the balls leading to this super sick pincer. It's so good. The color scheme, the eyes, the little cat ears are a little weird, but the cat ears are still really cool. It's got amazing pincers with these tiny little arms, and it's got this full spread out, dark contrasted set of wings, or like glider on its back. It's not really wings, so I think it's one piece, but what do you say? It's amazing. Pokemon is so cool. It's great in the anime. It's great. I love Gligar. I love Gliscor. Such a good Pokemon. Okay. But now we're stepping it up, right? So now we've gone from Gen 2 Pokemon that were no evolution to a Gen 4 Pokemon that has this super dope evolution. But what about a Gen 2 line that already had an evolution that's now getting another? Well, that's what we get when we got Mamoswine. Now this fight's so good. God, the tusks, the eyepiece. It looks like a fucking superhero. Swinub's cool. You know, small, round. Looks like a lazy pig. Not great. You know, but it's not bad. I don't have anything against Swinub. And then it kind of steps up a little bit with Piloswine, but it's like this giant hunchback with its face really low. It's weird, and it doesn't make sense with everything else that's going on. But Mamoswine, it hits everything. It hits everything that you would want in like a pig mammoth Pokemon, right? It's got that perfect nose. It's got the face thing. It's got a nice hunchback, but it stays upright and it doesn't get that head really low. It's got perfect eyes. It looks fierce. It looks like a mammoth. It looks like a pig. It's got sick tusks. It's a great Pokemon. Absolutely phenomenal design. And I don't know how it ended up being my second favorite Pokemon, because upon doing the research for this video, 3 Pokemon, like Mamoswine, Gliscor, and Shieldon, had not even touched my radar. So pretty glad that I was able to come across Mamoswine and do some research and really fall in love with this Pokemon for this video, and really realize, man, I love this thing. How did I not see this prior? Yeah. But that leaves the number 1, and right. So talked about it. Diamond and Pearl, great games, really cool stories. I mean, like, really, they had strong stories. I wanted to put maybe one of the fairy spirit sprites. I don't know what I think they're the fairies, the 3 fairies. I was probably going to put Uxie on this list initially, thinking about it before I saw kind of everything else that I really liked in this generation. But there's another legendary, and I know that one's, no, I guess that one's a legendary. There's another legendary, right, that I put on this list knowing full well it was going to be number 1 the whole time. One of my favorite Pokemon overall. It's our time boy, Dialga. Now, Dialga's design, it's got sick armor, right? It's got that front piece, the head pieces, the back piece. It looks really good. I love the light blue mixed in with that dark blue. It gives it a good feel. And Palkia kind of does the same thing. But I had Diamond first. I should say I played Diamond first. So naturally, I fell in love with Dialga. This is one of the very few, him, Empoleon, and Piplup, were the ones that I really fell in love with during the game and during the gameplay, as opposed to kind of later in life, when I started loving Pokemon again. Dialga just sets it off for me. I love the space-time dynamic. Roar of Time is an insanely sick move. And I know a lot of people say the same thing about Spatial Rend. It's cool, but Roar of Time is just sick. It's a sick Pokemon. It's a great color. More than anything, I think the two blues in it are fantastic, and it was just a Pokemon that really, had was a mainstay on my team. And so I just have to say that Dialga earns my number 1 spot above any of these other ones. So, but of course, that is my opinion, and I would love to know your opinion on your top 10, 20, 30, 1, whatever you want to say. Top Generation 4 Pokemon down in the comments. Go ahead and leave them. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why Dialga sucks and Palkia is way better. Tell me why Cranidos is better than Shieldon. Tell me that all these Pokemon suck. Tell me whatever you love. But please don't tell me that you think Lickilicky is great, because we all know it's not. Why does it have a Wi-Fi symbol on? Why does it have a bib? It's just a bunch of weird shit thrown together. I don't know. Lickilicky sucks. That's all I'm saying. But thank you guys for watching. You can find all of the Discord and Twitter and all that good stuff down in the comments. I'm gonna get back to streaming here in a couple of days. Dakota's gonna have a computer here soon, so hey, we can go back to duo streams instead of just my solo streams. Hopefully more content coming out. We're probably gonna do some more Pokemon ranking videos up in the future, and maybe some other not generation ranking stuff. Maybe, we'll see, but I gotta find time to make more designs for backgrounds, so we'll figure that out. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back hopefully shortly. Goodbye.